Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and a rarity on the channel and something I wish we got to do more often. This is a 1-star rated puzzle that has still achieved an enormously high approval rating on Logic Masters Germany. I think something like 94–95%. It's really hard to do that because I think people sometimes, when they do a puzzle and it's very easy, they maybe think it was too easy. But anyway, GBPack has created something that is much loved by the community. It's called Unknown Little Killers. The rule set's very straightforward, and it's been recommended to us not only by the great and the good of the Sudoku community, but some very good setters have suggested we should try this one on the channel. So people like Florian Wortman, who knows a thing or two about a good Sudoku. So this is what we're going to be having a look at in today's video. And if you are new to variant Sudoku, it might be one to cut your teeth on and to have a go at yourselves. Now, I don't have much news for you today. The usual stuff. If you enjoy the channel, please do consider. We have a whole suite of apps out there of handcrafted Sudoku, which we're very proud of. We have our Patreon, where we publish all sorts of extra content. In fact, we've got a brand new competition starting in just a couple of days' time on the 1st of July. And I have 2 birthday announcements to do today as well. Let's start with Miles, who's turned 32 today, over there in Bremen, Germany. And I know this because your girlfriend Valerie wrote to us, Miles, and said that you are the ultimate Sudoku nerd. And I'm very grateful to you because you've basically taken that crown from me. So I'm no longer the biggest nerd in the world, even though many people seem to insist I am. Anyway, Miles, I hope you have a brilliant birthday today with, of course, lots of chocolate cake. And then to Phyllis. Phyllis, it's your birthday, and I know this because your son Orin wrote to us, and he and his wife Finaire, who are, I remember them both. They've been discussed on the channel many times before, because Orin especially writes limericks that often appear in our comments. Almost every video, I want to say, has an Orin Otter limerick. An amazing talent. But anyway, Phyllis, I know that you're known in the online world as Nana Dragon. And Phyllis, many happy returns. I hope you have a huge amount of chocolate cake. And that's all the news. So why don't I read you the rules of Unknown Little Killers by GBPack. They are as follows. Right, we have to place the digits 1 to 6 in each row, column and region. Digits do not repeat in a row, column or region. So you can see it's a sort of irregularly shaped grid. So let's look at that funny shaped region there. So that's got to have the digits 1 to 6 once each in it. So do the rows, so do the columns. So do the columns. Digits along indicated diagonals sum to the number given. And numbers are not given, we just get question marks. A question mark represents a single digit from 0 to 9. And the digit represented may be different for different question mark clues. Right, so this isn't saying that all these question marks represent the same number. They can all be different. So those 3 add up to a number between 0 and 9. Those 3 add up to a number between 0 and 9. I'm guessing it's not 0. This one adds up to a number between 0 and 9. And that one, the last line of the rule says the leading digit of a 2-digit clue may not be 0. So this is some number. Well, I think we can guess what the first number might be. But this is some number between, well, I suppose 10 and... Well, actually, I'm almost doing solving there. I have to be careful. People get very cross if I say anything in the introduction or in the rules that could be construed as solving. So we'll gloss over what that might mean because I can see it's a little bit restricted. And I will just say, do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Let's return straight away to this clue because the maximum that could be would be a double 6, wouldn't it? And if that was double 6, that would be 12. So this is either 10, 11 or 12. I mean, it's not actually that useful, but that is true. Now, my first thought here is that we must be doing some sort of colouring exercise. to sort of pinpoint how the geometry of the grid is going to fix certain cells into certain digits into position. So for example, if we were to ask where that digit there goes in column 1, because it can't repeat within its own region, we can immediately label it as being there, can't we? Yeah, that may not have been the place to start based off... Oh dear. Okay, let's try a different cell. Well, let's try that cell, because I can see something about that cell. That cell is clearly not the same as green, because it shares a row with it. And that needs to find a place in row 1. It can't repeat in its region, so that one's going up there. Actually, blue. This blue one is better, because that blue one I can immediately position in this region, look. By Sudoku, it can't go in those squares, so that's blue. So blue is in one of those two positions in the funny shape region, which means it's in one of those two positions in the bottom region, look, because this one rules out that, and that one rules out those three, and we know it's not the same as green. So I think this is the game we're supposed to play, although I'm not going to claim that I'm playing it very well at the moment. That digit, let's make that orange, where does that go? In column 6. It can't repeat in its region, and it's not the same as either blue or green, so that one goes there. Which means it's in one of those 3 cells. Oh, well, actually, I will notate that, because now where does orange go in the bottom, in this bottom region? It's actually in the same 2 cells that blue is. So that's marginally interesting. Oh no, can't see what to do with that. What about... okay. Oh, I don't know. I would imagine it's either this cell or this cell that we need to think about next, but I haven't actually worked out which. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to change my mind. I'm actually going to look at this square, because that square I can position in the bottom row again, just using the same thing. Now, it's important to recognise here that this digit, because it has to appear in the bottom row exactly in this position, it does deserve a new colour. It sees green, blue and orange, which are the colours that we've already got highlighted. So this is a brand new colour. Now, does that help us, I hear you say? And the answer to that is I don't know yet, but it might do. It'd be good if we could get one of these colours to propagate just a little bit further. Okay, let's try that one. I'm unsure of whether this is a sensible one to try or not. Because I can see it's got to be either here or here. That is true, but in that instance, I'm not actually sure that this isn't purple, which is what's worrying me. What we don't want is to have overlapping possibilities. So actually, maybe I'm meant to do that one first, because that one is not in any of those squares. This one, but could that one be green? Maybe that's an interesting question. Yeah, see, that's again, that is a valid... This one might be green, and if it's green, then we've got to be careful. Right, so I need to think about this a little bit harder. And to do that, how are we going to do that? It may be that I was supposed to start the colouring in a different way. That's a possibility. Ah, okay. Well, do I definitely know that purple is different from green and blue? I think I do. Okay, I'm going to change tack altogether now. I'm going to actually look at the diagonal here, because this diagonal has 3 different digits on it, and that's a bit of a problem, but in a good way. That's actually lovely. So can you see why that's important? That's great. It's absolutely great. This is going to do, I think, work for us, at least some work, because I'm going to get some digits here. So what I'm seeing is that as these 3 digits are demonstrably different from our colouring, the minimum they could be would be a 1, 2, 3 triple. So let's make those 1, 2 and 3. That's already 6, isn't it? But this question mark clue cannot be greater than 9. So how on earth can we fill these 3 squares in such that they that we don't break the bank? Well, these are all going to have to be 1s, and now purple has become a 1, so that's a 1. These 2 squares are a 2, 3 pair. And what's more, and this might be the really important thing, these 2 squares are now definitely purple. And if they are definitely purple, blue now is there, exactly there, and orange is exactly there in this funny region, and now green is exactly here. Now we're getting somewhere. That's lovely. Very, very cute. Okay, so actually let's fill in. That's 2, 3, that's 2, 3, that's 2, 3, that's 2, 3, that's 2, 3. Now, where's green in this column? Green's already appeared in this funny region, so it's not there, it's not there, that's green. So that's a 2, 3. Where's green in the rectangle? There is the answer. So where's green in column 6? I was going to say column 9 then. It's got to be there. Okay. Can we keep going with 1s, actually? Yeah, that's a 1 by Sudoku in this top region. And therefore I ought to be able to get the final 1 in the grid. That's got to go here. So I've done all the 1s, I've done all of the greens. Can I do all of the blues? And the answer to that is, I don't know. Blue? No, I can't. Look, I've got a sort of X-wing of blues between those squares. So I can't do all the blues. So I'm going to have to do something else. And the thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to say I know the value of green. Green, my lord. I have discovered green. Blackadder. How could green be 3? And the answer is it cannot be 3, for a lovely reason. Because if it is 3, what is this digit? And the problem that this digit has is, you can see from Sudoku it's at least a 4, which means this diagonal is adding up now to at least 10, but it's a single digit clue, and that won't work. So green is 2, which means that that's 3 in the corner, that's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Blue has become 3. These 2 squares are now, so now orange is not 6, so orange is 4 or 5. Let's put that in. And then we'll think a bit harder about something else. Okay, so let's mull this over. What do we do now? We know this is 10. We know this is 10, 11 or 12, don't we? So okay, so how could... Yeah, that's it. Blue is 3. I can't write 3 here because this can't be big enough to be a double-digit number. So blues resolve to those 2 squares. Sorry, that's probably been... You've probably been shouting at me about that. I didn't see it. So these 2 are both blue. All our blues are done. All the blues belong to us. This digit's got to be quite hefty. it can't be 4, can it? It won't be big enough. So it's got to be 5 or 6. Okay, where's orange in this group? The answer is there, and that should allow us to get the final orange into the grid. And the final orange is there. That's... Oh, I see, that's fine. No, I thought I'd broken the puzzle then, but I haven't. The final orange in the grid is here. These are the same number. So the only option is that this is double 5 now, in order to get us up to a double-digit total. So this is actually a 10, these 2 question marks here. Those are 5, these are 5. I've now just got 4s and 6s to resolve, and that's going to have to be something. It's going to be something to do with this, isn't it? But probably, let's just mull that for a moment. Yeah, let's try and colour. So let's make that grey, because I can see that that will then be grey. That will then be grey. Have I picked the wrong one? Maybe I've picked the wrong place to start here, because... maybe that doesn't propagate in the way I was hoping. No, that's okay. That's not, I think, probably the way to do this. I've got to somehow use these 2 squares. Yeah. Okay. So what we have to appreciate here is this is a single-digit total, and I've only got 4s and 6s to write into these squares. So can either of them be a 6? No, because then we're definitely going to breach the single-digit total. So they have to both be 4s. These have to both be 6s. And that 6 is going to give me 6, 6, 4, 4, 6, 4, 4, 6. And it finishes, but of course, we've got to colour it in better. Let's make those yellow. And there we go. I think that's how to solve it. Isn't that beautiful? Gosh, 1,000 people have solved that. Well, I'm not surprised. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Isn't that a testament to people's love of variant Sudoku? That 1,000 people, so presumably more than 1,000, have attempted it. I think that's fantastic. And that is a beautiful, beautiful puzzle. GBPack, take a bow on constructing. I mean, that 1 star. I mean, if you'd never seen colouring before in Sudoku, I don't think you would find that trivial. I'd be interested to know. I know a lot of people, find the channel and they're sort of newbies to the world of variant Sudoku. And if you were new, did you have a go? How did you find that? Was it simple, or did it still require some thought? I thought it required some thought. I thought it was that lovely balance of being, tasty enough that it was very enjoyable to eat, without being completely and utterly trivial. So, enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments how you got on. Enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.